Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Ordinary Extraordinary. And I have another great guest for you. Her name is Sarah, and she's going to tell you everything she wants to say about herself. So, hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Hey. So, my first question right away is, who are you and what do you do?
All right. So I guess I could be super official. My name is Dr. Sarah Hraha. I have a clinical degree, a doctorate in clinical psychology. Um, but I've also been a teacher for many, many years, and mostly in Montessori. And one of the things that I started to focus on later in my career with kids was something called social and emotional learning. And that became a huge passion of mine. And I'm currently the director of social emotional learning at a Montessori school. And I am also a therapist. I am a child, adolescent, family therapist in private practice.
All right. So I usually don't ask this question, but for some reason, I now want to know your hobbies.
Oh, my hobbies.
Yeah, if you do have any.
Yeah, no, I have, in the wintertime, I love cross-country skiing. And I do what's called skate skiing. It's different than classic. And I love riding my bike, my road bike, and just on trails and getting out. But I love being in nature and hiking and just being in nature and quiet. And my favorite place is the mountains.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. My third question would be may crisscross this answer too, but we will see. Okay. So my second question is, what obstacles have you had in life and how have you overcome them?
Good question. I mean, I just think of so many, I don't want this to sound weird when I say it, but I know so many other people have really, really struggled a lot. And I think I've been blessed with a pretty wonderful life. I had really good parents. I was brought up, with a lot of security, and at the same time, I would say one of the most challenging things was that I chose. But as a young person, my husband, who's still my husband, we got married really young, and we had a baby pretty much right away. And as a person in my very young 20s, I was a mom, and just kind of dealing with that when all my other friends were doing things that they do in their 20s. So that presented a lot of challenges. And then we continue to have kids. So by the age of 27, we had 3 kids. So yeah, and so that presented challenges, just making sure I finished my degree and was able to still enjoy things, but I still, my husband and I were pretty responsible at a pretty young age, and so that did present challenges. And then I would just say by the time we were in our 30s, it was hard, the marriage, and so the way we overcame that was we sought out a lot of personal growth. We sought out some pretty major therapy and coaching, and so we just engaged in like individual coaching and therapy, whatever you want to call it, and group therapy and couples, and that it really, really helped us out tremendously. We're still doing it. So, we've been married 40 years. But I think a lot of the ways that I've overcome obstacles is just to have a really good support around me. And I seek out a lot of advice and support. And so if we have major decisions to make, we generally seek out support. So I think that's probably, I don't like doing that in a vacuum, and I also have a really good family. I have a really good family. So those are a lot of the ways that we've kind of overcome some really difficult challenges.
Got it. So psychologists sometimes need help from other people. Is that what it is?
I wouldn't even be as good as a therapist as if I hadn't done and continue to do my own personal growth work. I mean, I need to know about me, before I can support others. And so because of all the work I've done and all the challenges that I've worked on and really dug in, to understanding myself and developing greater self-awareness, and all those tools help me to support others.
That makes sense. Yeah. And when people ask me, like, what is a life coach? I tell them I'm a life coach. They're like, what is a life coach? And I always say, well, life coach is like a psychologist, or a therapist, but I can kick your butt,
Yeah,
because I'm learning about myself. So I'm co-voyaging with you.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. I'm
Avoid
co-voyaging as opposed to observing and being an anthropologist like person.
exactly.
You
Yeah, we're all
cannot be involved.
together. Yeah,
So
the connection, the mutuality.
mhm. I think that made a difference for me when I first was introduced to coaching. It wasn't just like somebody sitting and nodding, only. It was just something more to that. They're nodding. Let's just say that. I guess because coaches keep growing themselves, and
Hmm.
I think that's why you
Totally.
were having much more fun being a therapist. I think, right?
I love it.
Yeah, yeah. And this leads me to the third question. And the third question, you might recognize this question. It's what makes your heart sing?
What makes my lots of things. Connection for sure. Like when I really connect with somebody, and just have that like realness between us and that authenticity, and they, like I'm heard and understood, and I know that they're heard and understood. Um, yeah, that matters greatly. So like right now with this, we're all in our houses and everything, and I'm doing telehealth. So I'm doing, as you can see, my little thing in the background when I check in with kids and parents and everybody. It just feels so satisfying, rewarding. I feel like I matter. I'm making a difference. So that makes my heart sing. I know, and but it's that deeper connection that's a biggie. Um, yeah, connecting with myself. When I'm in nature. Music. I love music. Dancing. I think one of the things that for me is a lot of it is connection. That's when I feel the most fulfilled.
Mhm.
And it just taps into those deeper yearnings, and and especially right now, it's so when I'm really missing the human contact, um, it's just kind of like these conversations, that really matter. It's really making my heart sing. And trying to think of what else, like color, art, uh, yeah, like all the sensory stuff, textures,
Mhm.
love all that stuff. Food, making a good meal. Um, yeah, I'm sure there's so many more, but I love connecting with children.
Uh-huh.
And again, in this virus time, whatever we're calling it, virus time. But like right now, kids are looking at this so differently than adults, and I love their perspective. I love it. It's just they're not real freaked out by it. At least the kids I'm working with. And then same with the school. I'm online, a lot trying to figure out how to support the school that I work for. And I spend a lot of time with the middle school, and we do a morning meeting every day, and just seeing them. But really, it's their perspective is far different. They're just really, I think they're, I won't get into this too much, but they're just struggling with all the changes, and are they going to get to see their friends, and is this going to go on forever? And they're super stressed out parents. It's like, how do they deal with that? So, but I do love connecting with children. They're really, uh, I love where they come from. I love being around them. They're just, I don't know how to describe it. They're just different than we are.
They are.
Mhm.
Wow. So you're basically your heart is singing all the time, except for when maybe you're sneezing. And even that probably makes you happy too. Yeah, just don't do it in public, right? They say
Yeah,
my friend at work did that, and they just almost like all ran away, like scattered, like, oh my God, don't sneeze. Here's the
oh yeah,
mask.
we're all so scared.
Everybody's, yes,
That's
freaking
what's
out.
really hard right now is, yeah, is we can't just, yeah, we're all like, ooh, get away
Mhm.
from me, and so the safety of technology is definitely helpful.
It is. It's definitely cool. I mean, I've been doing Zoom for a while, for several years now. So for me, it's kind of like a known technology, but people are freaking out,
Yeah.
like learning all this. So it adds all that stress
Yep.
to already, the stress we have. So,
Yeah.
wow, great,
Yeah.
great. So the last question is, what would you suggest to people who are watching now or will be watching in the future, people who are going through hardships, through difficult times, times of uncertainty, which is probably the best time to ask this question now? What would you suggest to them?
I think a lot of there's lots of things you can do. I think when we get kind of caught up in our own worries and everything, and I think sometimes, like right now, like I think, and myself included, struggling with motivation. I mean, I'm driving myself to do a lot of things. I mean, my school job isn't that busy right now, but I'm super grateful for all the clients I have. That keeps me motivated. But when there's times that I don't feel motivated, it's almost like I have to just hear someone else's voice in my head, like, come on, let's go, come on, make a phone call, go for a walk. But, if we're getting caught up in our own worries and stuff, I think that's a really good time to call someone else that might be struggling and, listen to them, try to support them to get out of your own kind of self absorption. Even if you're feeling down and if you're kind of depressed or super anxious, um, I think one of the best ways to get off that channel is to, connect with someone else and get outside, walk around. There's a lot of people out right now. There's a lot of, I mean, walk around them. They know, everybody knows that you're not being rude. It's okay. We could just walk around each other, but give each other a smile, have that little connection is massively important. We're wired. I mean, this is how we are wired. We are wired for connection. And so when we're not, that's when we start kind of sinking down. If you're home with kids, sit down and just stop what you're doing if you can for a little bit and just play with your child. Go for a walk. I think, just sit and have a conversation. Just again, connecting, pet your animal. But I also love mindfulness. And this is one that I'm really trying to stay focused on every day, if not every other day. I like Headspace. I like to just, you know, sit and meditate for at least 20 minutes. But I mean, 5 minutes is great too. Or 3 deep breaths, ways to connect with myself. Um, I know someone who loves to say, like right now, even though like the grass is starting to grow and if it's not too cold out, take your shoes off, put your feet on the grass and just ground yourself. It feels lovely, especially if the sun's out. Um, yeah, now I'm veering off from your question. What are ways to support ourselves right now? Is that what you were? Yeah,
Yeah, basically, like what would you suggest to people who don't know what to do right now, or who feel stuck or anything like this, like going through hard stuff? So yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, I've heard a lot of it, and my biggest takeaway was listen to somebody's voice in your head, like
yeah,
to motivate yourself. Like it could be the person maybe not even on the phone with you, or maybe not even alive, but you
right.
could hear that voice and say, "Hey, I remember their power." Like my mom, I
Yeah,
remember how she was a warrior. And just like, oh no, I can't be lazy now. What
yeah,
she has done is an example that it's possible for me too. So I
yeah.
just pick up. Yeah. So wow. Thank you very much. I appreciate you coming in, Sarah. And you know what I've done? I made a mistake. Yay. Instead of recording this, we went on Facebook Live on Thursday. So it will already be out. And so tomorrow, the recording of this, I will make it into like a recording and I will put it up at noon on Friday. So, hey, I made a mistake. So it doesn't matter. We've done it. Yeah, it's okay.
I have one more thing, laughing. So we were just laughing is so important right now. I think it just really gets those endorphins going. Dancing, singing, um, have a dance party in your house. There's just playing games. I just, there's so many things that we can do. I saw, I think it was like a quote, I think at Leonardo da Vinci during a plague, he had obviously to stay in his home, and it was just a massive burst of creativity and invention. And so if you're busy, great. If you're not, I think it's time to really engage in those things. But again, it's hard. It can be hard to get yourself motivated. So to try to maybe have a buddy that you check in with, we kind of call them accountability buddy, set an intention for your day. Setting intentions are great. I just go on and on, but there's a lot of things we can do, and just try to stay off those news channels. And it's all the same. It's a lot of the same stuff right now, and it's super addictive. And the less we can read, I mean, we need to know, right? We need to know some information, that's for sure. But I think for now, we pretty much know what to do. So
yeah, it's enough. Yeah, it's basically, you're absolutely right with their repetition. It gets deeper and deeper, and even having the common sense, you start losing that common sense because they keep bombarding you with even the same information. It's like, oh, maybe I should get that toilet paper. It begins to sink in. It's like,
I know
it was crazy. Yeah. So thank you, Sarah, very much for coming. Thank you guys for watching a day ahead of time. But like I said, I'm creating the schedules and I'm putting it up. So it's really no boss who's going to yell at me for doing that.
All right.
And it must probably meant to be, you know what I mean? So if you find somebody, please invite them over. And I do appreciate you taking time of your schedule and coming over.
Absolutely.
So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day and shoot me a text if you have some ideas.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. No problem, Sarah. Spasibo. Yeah, have a good day.